I have some houseplants that are begging for my attention, and I figured it'd be a good idea to just make a video about it so you guys can keep me company and hold me accountable for actually getting this done. So without further ado, here are the plants that live rent-free in my house. Can you hear me? Hello, here is my pride and joy Monstera plant. Monstera is like one of the most beloved houseplants. If you go shopping at a Target, you're probably gonna see a Monstera shower curtain. It's one of the most easiest to take care of. It's a tropical plant. It usually grows in the under canopies of big towering trees in tropical regions. She's kind of growing in this direction, which ideally we would have a moss pole here, and we would be convincing her to go upwards, out this way, and then branching out rather than this way, just because it's going to get lopsided. But we have a little bit of work to do. Maybe we should get one when we go shopping and kind of connect her to that to give her some more support, because this girl's just going to keep getting bigger, I believe. We love her. We give her 5 out of 5 rating. This is my Monstera, also Monstera Swiss cheese plant. Yes, just like the food. Why do you think it's called that? Because it looks like Swiss cheese. Look at all those holes. When I first got into houseplants super seriously during prime COVID time, 2020 March, I adopted Swiss cheese plants. I was living in Hawaii at the time, in Honolulu. They were so beautiful and so happy. And yeah, obviously it was Hawaii, so it was very tropical weather. They were very, very happy there. And yeah, I just remember them being so easy and beautiful and fast to grow. Yeah, give her love. She's beautiful. She can be beautiful. I'm gonna give her a 2 out of 5 rating though for its current state, and too bad because they're so gorgeous. All right, this is also a Monstera deliciosa, the same plant that I was showing you before. She is kind of going crazy with this, what is called an aerial root. Admire this aerial root. So they do that in the wild, where they actually grow. Sometimes I forget that houseplants are literally just are an outdoor plant in some part of the world. That's really crazy, so think about that. Yeah, she's just trying to find soil to help establish herself deeper, probably because this pot is too small for her, and she just needs some more soil to grow in and to get just some more support, because she's maybe getting a little bit heavy right here, and you can see she's trying to grow into this little pot here. So yeah, if we found a pot, I would say that's 6 inches or 8, she might be happier than in this little tiny 4-inch pot. And they're super easy to propagate, so if you want to have a plant that just keeps on giving, Monstera, that's where it's at. Okay, this is my fiddle leaf fig, otherwise known as a ficus plant. I spritz her down because they do like to be moist a lot, and this time of the year it can get really dry. Even though we live in the Pacific Northwest, ironically, this house just gets really dry, so they really love a moisturizing environment. These leaves shouldn't be kind of cracky like this. They really should just be moist, wet, and happy and thriving. But yeah, she's still a pretty happy plant. We're doing the best we can to keep our plants alive from where they lived before, which was not a basement. How they grow is super thick that it can even start to look like a tree. In my mom's house, she has a tree of a ficus in her living room taking over, and there's a movie theater where we live that has a giant ficus tree just right dead in the middle of it, and it's one of our favorite things to do. Go to movies, say hello to this tree. This is my prayer plant. Prayer plants are really cool. I think their actual name is something to do with calathea. Prayer plants are called prayer plants because they fold up whenever they're sad and they want to be watered, and it looks like they're praying. They fold their little leaves together like that. You can't see her doing this right now because I think she's been pretty watered and she's pretty happy. Gotta kind of take care and do some maintenance with these guys because their leaves die out in the middle. So they're one of those plants that's pretty good if you do want to be reminded that your plant needs water, and if you want to help her thrive and you like to cut out dead leaves and like a little plant maintenance. And I recommend a little prayer plant because they're really sweet and pretty easy, and they talk to you and tell you what they need, which is more than can be said for humans sometimes. This is one of my favorite plants of the house right now. This is my pitcher plant given to me by my girlfriend's brother on my birthday, so that makes her extra special. I love pitcher plants because they're carnivorous, and if you didn't really know about that, or about pitcher plants or carnivorous plants, you wouldn't really know she's carnivorous. You might just think, what an interesting shape of a flower. But indeed, not, reader. These little cups, little bugs go in there, and then they disintegrate into the juices and get absorbed by the plant to give it its food, just like a Venus flytrap would catch its prey and then dissolve their bodies, and that's their food. That's exactly what this little cutie does, and you wouldn't even know because she's so beautiful. I really love how the leaves come out. Can you see? This is a fresh leaf, and the little small, tiny pitcher is developing right in there. This is a stingray alocassia. There are a lot of alocasias in this world of all different shapes and sizes. They're just really cool. They have lots of different shapes and colors. This one, however, is called a stingray alocassia because look at that little tail and the little sides. I had 3 little stingray pups whenever I first got her, and now she's put out like 3 more, I think. Only thing I would do to help take care of her right now is clip this little yellow guy off because it is dying, and that's okay because it's a natural part of the process, like we all do. The peace lily is such a beautiful plant. Fun fact is, at a lot of funeral homes, there's like an option to send people who have passed, and the families of people who have passed, flowers or plant like house plants, and peace lily is like one of the most common ones that you'll find on there. So yeah, peace lilies have beautiful white flower. I've never seen this one flower since we bought her. Definitely when we first bought her, she was flowering, but since then I haven't seen it, so that's kind of sad. She was just in a bad spot in our house, and I kept knocking her down over my dog's toy box, and that was very frustrating. And I need to buy soil. I need to buy houseplant soil, so we'll go do that in a second and top her up and cut off some of these leaves, and then hopefully she'll just be a little bit happier. And also peace lilies will talk to you, just like our prayer plant behind me. They're some of the most like very beginner houseplant owner plants because they will curl up whenever they're feeling thirsty. Whenever they need to be watered, they'll let you know because they'll just curl up. This is the Pelea pepermoides. This is also called the UFO plant, and it's because the little leaves, like look at them wiggle. They look like little UFOs coming to learn about Earth and not hurt us, because we don't have to assume that they're gonna hurt us just because they're extraterrestrial. They're super cute. They look like little floating UFOs. Another name for this is the friendship plant, and it's because they pop out little tiny Peleas right like on the outskirts of where they're growing. Like I could pull 2 out right now and repot those, and they'd grow and they'd be very happy. So they're friendship plants because you can give them to your friends. Okay, I saved the best plant for last. This is a jade plant. They look like Eva or Wally, right? Eva. Very small jade plant, and she actually came from a clipping from my grandpa's mom from one of her houseplants. She's really trying her best, and I rate her 5 out of 5, even though I know I could do better at taking care of her. Thanks for coming on my house tour. That was really fun. I love houseplants. They fill my life with so much joy. Now that we know what is the condition of all our plants and what their needs are, we got a couple things to get it from the nursery. I encourage you to just go to your nursery and see who you could bring home today to fill your space and open it up with so much greenness and brightness and joy this winter time. Okay, let's go to the nursery together. Bye. We're heading to the garden store, which is just literally one of my favorite places to stroll around. I love how green it is, and I guess this time of the year, how red it is to celebrating the holidays, which are quickly among us. I took a peek and got tempted to purchase some new houseplants, but decided that it was best if I just got the garden soil and took care of the ones I currently have before adding to my collection. I still admired them regardless, and just really appreciate how well cared for they are, how misty they look, and just they put me right in the mood of being in the middle of a rainforest. I took a peek at some of these moth poles that I mentioned earlier in the video and just wanted to know how much they were, and they rounded up to be about almost $40, and I thought maybe we'll save that for next time, add it to a Christmas wish list. I ended my garden store visit admiring all of the carnivorous plants, which I'm so fascinated by, and saying my regards to this little fly that was buzzing over them. Finally, I headed home and got to the task of repotting my plants that had outgrown their pots and combining it with some of the monstera clippings that have been growing in my bathroom in a propagation tube for way too long. I also did some clippings of my prayer plant and my peace lily that just was getting a bit too leafy, and I think it just looks a little bit nicer to clean that up and make them look more spacious in their pot. I used some of the leftover soil that I had to top up some of my bigger plants that needed a bit more just from months and months of watering and not replenishing them with nutrients. So the ficus and the monstera both got a little bit of a top up. Finally, let's see how everyone looks now that they've been cared for and given lots of love and attention that they've been asking for some time now. I'm really proud of having completed this project. Honestly, it was on my mind for at this point, not even weeks, but months. I knew that I needed to tend to some of these plants and that I shouldn't get a new one until I knew that I could, and until I proved to myself that I could take care of the ones that I currently have. I think that they ended up looking really amazing, and ultimately I thought about this project for so long, but it took under 2 hours to do the actual chore itself of taking care of them, getting them cleaned up, and getting them watered in their new homes. Houseplants are just dazzling creatures, and really once you add one to your house and into your home space, you realize that there's so much life around you, and it's not just outside of your house, but it's also inside. And it just grounds me into realizing that I am part of this really beautiful, bigger world out there, and I need to be mindful of all that I'm responsible for nurturing. So both a responsibility and a joy, and there's also proven health benefits from having houseplants inside of your house. So I really recommend and hope that this inspires you to go out and adopt some new houseplants of your own, whether that's from your local garden store or even from the beloved Facebook Marketplace. I've gotten plenty of plants from Facebook Marketplace that I really love and care about deeply, and it's just so nice to give them a new home. So yeah, thanks for doing my houseplant tour with me. I hope you enjoyed this video, maybe even you learned something, and I hope you stick around for next week. Please take care and see you soon.